Good day, everyone, or afternoon, morning, evening, wherever you are, depends on your time zone. Welcome to Virtual Concert Hall's live music channel. I'm Anna Uspinskaya, I'm a pianist, and I'm hosting this program from Washington, D.C. area. And as always, our channel is dedicated to connecting musicians and the audiences with live music performances, music news, and other programs, panel discussions, and everything. And our guests, artists, are coming from all over around the globe. And today's program is very exciting for me. I'm presenting a project called colORCHESTRA. colORCHESTRA is a new format of connecting soloists who seek performances with the orchestras and the orchestras who seek to discover new talent, bring a new music repertoire to their programming, and to connect musicians from all over the world with their local audiences. Now, a little bit of the history of colORCHESTRA. colORCHESTRA project was launched last season, in 22-23 season, through the wonderful collaboration between Virtual Concert Halls and Sound Espressivo with international cohort of music entrepreneurs and companies from different countries. We were so proud and honored to be joined for this colORCHESTRA project by a company in Asia and Europe, and by a company in New York State, and by several others, and by first and foremost the orchestra, New York Chamber Orchestra, Western New York Chamber Orchestra, which expressed the interest to host the very first of the concerts. For that concert, together with core productions, progressive musicians, and Brilliant Talent Discovery Awards, we organized international auditions and invited musicians to apply, state which concerto they want to perform, and I'll go through the process of how to apply for colORCHESTRA and how to participate in those auditions a little bit later. But this was a worldwide reach, and we were so overwhelmingly pleased with the amount of support and with the amount of response we got from professional musicians, young rising artists, teachers from all over the world who applied for those auditions. It was very, very difficult to choose the soloists, and of course we worked together with the Western New York Chamber Orchestra and their music director, Glenn Cortese, who was in constant communication with us, selecting the concertos, selecting the soloists, and in the end, the concert was presented at the Harry King Concert Hall in Fredonia, and there was a second concert in Buffalo, and both concerts were absolutely astounding. We had on stage 6 musicians from all parts of the world, from France, from Israel, from the United States, from Canada, from different places, and this was a truly international presentation of absolutely astoundingly gorgeous music. And a little bit later in the program, we will present part of that concert so you can see and hear for yourself how that concert went. So this season, because this project grew so quickly and so internationally, we were honored by 5 more orchestras expressing the interest to join the colORCHESTRA project for the season 23-24. And as you could see on the on screen, we have the orchestra in Czech Republic in Zlin, the Martinu Philharmonic Orchestra. It's a full symphony orchestra, and they're interested in presenting big concertos for full symphony. And we were also joined by the Cairo Opera Orchestra, and that orchestra has a very interesting project of truly international collaboration. I want to urge you to check out the programs which they're seeking, and we are also joined by the Boulder Symphony, and we'll go through the details a little bit later. So, but it's I can talk about it forever, but the best is to be able to see and hear for yourself the quality of the artistry and the excitement and the spirit of the colORCHESTRA project. The orchestra was all excited, and the conductor, and it was just so new, so fresh, and so interesting to meet for all these musicians from across the world. So it's so I want to present now a part of that concert, which was happening in the Harry King Concert Hall of SUNY Fredonia. It's a beautiful, spacious concert hall of nearly 1,500 seats, and just enjoy the concert.
Well, hello. We're very happy to have two very distinguished guests with us for a very brief interview. First is Dr. Stephen H. Collison Jr., who became the 14th president of the State University of New York at Fredonia, started his duties on June 29th, 2020, right at the beginning of the pandemic, which must have been quite challenging. We'll discuss that. Dr. Collison has a distinguished record of serving in faculty and leadership positions, and I could give his resume now for about the next half hour, but I just want to single out one thing. He was at the University of Indianapolis, UIndy, from April 2017 until August of 2020, and under his leadership in there as chief academic officer, UIndy conferred its first degrees in industrial and system engineering, mechanical engineering, and software engineering, and he worked with the faculty to plan and offer 10 new degree programs, including electrical engineering, general engineering, and data analytics, and that just barely scratches the surface. President Collison, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you.
And we're also happy to have with us Rob Deemer, faculty member at Fredonia. He's the recipient of the 2018 ASCAP Deems Taylor Virgil Thompson Internet Award. Rob is a composer, a conductor, an educator, an author, and an advocate, and his works have been commissioned all over the place, from the Buffalo Philharmonic to the University of Texas, the Rasher Saxophone Quartet, and so many other soloists as well. And this jumped out at me from his resume. His work as an advocate for underrepresented composers led him to create the Institute for Composer Diversity. And that's a program I wasn't familiar with. We'll discuss that a little bit if we have time as well. Gentlemen, I want to begin by just asking you this question. Perhaps President Collison can answer this. The liberal arts and music are widely accepted as essential and powerful fields with unmatched potential for bettering our communities and for society's well-being and for helping students develop their own goals in life. And the positive impact of the arts can, on mental health, for example, are incalculable. At the same time, we know all too well that the arts and those who work in the arts are facing challenges. Music education is being cut in the schools, budgets are being cut, and then particularly in the aftermath of the pandemic, all those challenges have just been amplified. So I'm wondering, President Collison, what do you see as your schools and your art department's roles in addressing some of those challenges?
Certainly. Thank you so much for what I consider to be a very important question, especially in the context in which we live today. It's about relevance. When the question actually come down to that. Here at SUNY Fredonia, we find this to be a very viable tradition on our part. This is part of the fabric of our institution. And not only that, we prepare our students to go out and be successful in the field, but also to be advocates of the arts. And so we give it a very high priority. We also train our students to be connected so that when they are out as professionals, they are also connecting with people who can influence the decisions at the national level, at the regional level, and at the state level. So through advocacy and through various connections, we do everything we can to make sure that these areas remain very, very relevant to the education of our students, and not only that, for preparing young people throughout this country.
Right. And Dr. Deemer, this concert in particular is being produced under the auspices of SUNY at Fredonia. How do you see this concert, this particular concert, as important to furthering these goals, and how is the university participating directly?
Sure. So this concert is kind of a collaboration between the university, the School of Music, as well as the Western New York Chamber Orchestra, as well as other organizations as well. And I think that's part of one of the important parts of it is the fact that you're collaborating. We tell our students a lot that collaboration between themselves and others is important, But this is very useful as kind of a model to be able to show this is how the university can work with their community, as well as the fact that this particular concert is integrating musicians from all over the world, from China and from France and Israel, as well as the United States. And, in order to be able to demonstrate to our own students and our own community that what happens here in a relatively small community in Fredonia can actually have large impacts around the world, I think this is a really good model for that.
And will students have an opportunity to attend this concert? And I wonder what the reaction will be, because if I'm not mistaken, the students the people who are performing are pre-college, I think, to many of them. Many of them, I think it's a mixture of pre-college and college. I wonder if they'll be inspired by seeing these brilliant musicians soloing with your orchestra.
I think so. We've had a number of other types of examples like that. We do a number of types of events like this, and especially when we can bring folks here, from out of state or even from out of the country to be able to do that. That's always inspiring to our musicians.
Right. And Dr. Collison, how do you envision this concert in the larger picture of what you're trying to accomplish at SUNY Fredonia?
Yes. So I see this concert as a tremendous opportunity for students to learn. I think that add on to what we provide to them on the campus. I also see it as an opportunity for students to network. Again, part of our mission is for our students to be connected not only locally, but regionally and globally. So anytime we have an opportunity to bring such accomplished artists to the campus, I think it's a tremendous opportunity for our students to learn and to connect, and so that in the future, they can network with people of this caliber.
And when you mention networking, it's interesting because this concert, as you know, is being produced by Virtual Concert Halls, and it will be viewed by anybody around the world who has an opportunity to see it, because they're on Twitter and just about every platform you can think of. So it's a wonderful opportunity, I think, for SUNY Fredonia to extend its footprint really globally, and your students in particular will have a chance to witness it in person. So it's really an interesting opportunity. And Rob, as I indicated, or as I mentioned when I was introducing you, and I hope this isn't a digression, but could you tell us a little bit about this Institute for Composer Diversity? And as in your resume, it says you work as an advocate for underrepresented composers, and it led you to start the Institute for Composer Diversity. Tell us a little bit about that institute and what your goals are, what you do there. Sure.
So really briefly, basically, this is a project that I started about 5 or 6 years ago. As a small project for my composition students here, to make sure that they know who initially women composers were, and then after that, composers of color. Basically, it started as a small spreadsheet list so that they could know who to look for, and that just kind of got much larger, and now it's actually the Institute is a part of the university. It's sponsored by the university. And basically what we do is we provide online resources for folks to be able to search for music by composers who belong to what we usually term as underrepresented or historically excluded groups, such as women composers, non-binary composers, composers of color. And as well as analysis projects. We actually just did one in collaboration with the League of American Orchestras this last year, showing how programming across the country has really kind of spiked in the last few years in terms of composers like that, and or from those groups. And we seem to be having a bit of an impact on the musical community in that way.
That's really wonderful. I'd love to learn more about it. And then just to conclude our interview, I'm wondering if both of you could just comment on how you'd like to see, what you'd like to see as a response to your efforts for your school's community in general, but in particular in relation to the concert, which is taking place in a few days.
So for me, I'm hoping that this concert and the work we do here in the School of Music and in the Department of the Arts and so on, we inspire people and we create more support for the work in music and in the arts, basically. I think as we started from the beginning, we talk about the challenges that we have to deal with. Sometimes the more people understand and appreciate what is happening, I think then you get more support out in the public, and you get more support, from others who could be powerful advocates for this area of work. And so I'm hoping that all of this helps to inspire our community and people who will come to the concert and also be supporters of the work we do.
Rob, any closing comments about this?
Yeah, I would just say that it's indicative of how broad Fredonia's music program is, that we're able to both collaborate with these various organizations as well as bring in artists from around the world. Even though Fredonia, as I mentioned, is a relatively small community in Western New York, it actually has a very large footprint in the musical community, and I think it's wonderful to see that reflected in this concert.
Well, gentlemen, thank you for your time. Good luck at the concert. I'm very eager to listen to it and watch it myself via virtual concert halls, and I thank you again for your time and your participation. Good luck with the concert.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
And as you could hear, of course, the president of the SUNY Fredonia University, Stephen Collison, mentioned the key to success and the key to connection with the community is in collaboration. And we are so blessed with being able to collaborate with wonderful people who represent great music and educational organizations. And our community of partners is growing, and we are forever grateful for that movement, because in the energy of collaboration is where great things are being accomplished. One person can only do so much. There's only 24 hours available for that one person. When we are able to work with universities and orchestras and music organizations and educational organizations, recording studios, and promotional organizations together, we put our hands together, we put our energy together, and this project, of course, grow and become a lot more accessible to everyone, and a lot more interesting, because you literally are able to bring in musicians and artists from all over the world, and each comes with their rich background. And each of those companies you see on the screen who have joined the colORCHESTRA project for this season and upcoming concerts, each of those companies is represented by wonderful enthusiasts of music and education and reach and connection. And these are people who add their time, add their expertise and energy to these programs and make them so great. And of course, our reach, the virtual concert hall's reach, is growing too, because we get support from various platforms. We're very grateful for being able to place these programs and make them available completely free of charge. We're a public broadcasting company, and you can see now we stream on every platform, every video platform, and every social media platform there is. So if you go to YouTube or Facebook or LinkedIn, Twitch, Twitter, and many other platforms, you just need to type in virtual concert halls, and you will get access to these wonderful concerts to those presentations, interviews with great musicians and great music managers. We have produced over 1,000 programs, and each and every one of them has great music and wonderful people joining us, sharing their experience, their advice to the audience, to the musicians, how to better connect in this new time and age where all these wonderful tools are readily accessible to us. Let's use them. For what? For making the world more musical, more connected, more friendly, and just better all around. And of course, these programs would not be possible without an extraordinary support from Steve Robinson. And we are so grateful to Steve for his ongoing inspiration, for his energy, for his wonderful hosting. Steve Robinson is a prominent, world-renowned radio producer. He's a host, scriptwriter. He's American radio manager and producer and executive producer. He held senior management positions with numerous American radio stations, including, and there's a whole host of them, WFMT, WFMT Radio Network Chicago, WBUR Boston, WGBH Boston, WCRB Boston, KPFA Berkeley, WBGO Newark, Vermont Public Radio, Nebraska Public Radio Network, and many, many other networks. Why all these radio networks were always seeking and inviting Steve Robinson to lead them? Because of who he is and what kind of person he is, how he approaches people and work. He is a powerhouse, an inspiration, and never-ending joy of positive energy. He is a 50-year radio veteran, and he's not ready to retire. Look, he is interviewing wonderful people for these programs. He's helping shape those interviews. He's working with our team. He's very generous with his time, and he produced programs ranging from classical music documentaries to public affairs programs. He directed over 100, I don't know how can even person do that, 100 of on-air pledge drives. What are the pledge drives? It's when public radio station or public broadcasting station is reaching out to the community and asking for the support and financial support and other forms of support so that those stations can continue to deliver the programs free of charge, reach out to public with their great message of culture, education, music, arts, and all other topics. So Steve Robinson produced and directed over 100 of those on-air pledge drives. And let me just rumble a little bit more about Steve because we're so excited to have his support. He was also appointed the first development director of Vermont Public Radio, and as a leader of the VBR, he won national award from the Corporation of Public Broadcasting, CPB, for the program called The Sky Report with Professor Delo Mook. This was a 5-minute daily program about astrophysics that was syndicated through the US CPB and cited the program for innovative idea and superb execution. And that's what Steve Robinson is. Superb execution and very innovative ideas. So Steve, thank you very much for being our ongoing supporter. And on the screen you see a snapshot which was taken of Steve presenting one of the gala concerts. He gave an inspirational speech at the opening of the Laureates Gala at the Carnegie Hall last season, and we hope and keeping fingers crossed that Steve Robinson will be able to join us again on stage at the Carnegie Hall, and he is conducting interviews with the artists who are selected to participate in the Carnegie Gala, Carnegie Laureate Gala presentations. We have 4 of those concerts coming up, but that's a topic for another program. Otherwise, I'm gonna risk wearing out your guys' attention. We will be back again, and we'll talk about the Carnegie Galas and how to apply to be potentially selected to be one of the laureates. And but just a little brief introduction. colORCHESTRA is a big project for this concert season. Now we have additional projects, so we're going to present a quick snapshot of the whole season and what we have planned in collaboration with our artists. So what will be happening this season? Let's see the video presentation of our whole season, which is going to be presented with wonderful music written by Alla Lowry, who is our composer in residence. So let's see what's happening in this whole season. And now I just want to show everyone who's watching how people can actually become part of the colORCHESTRA season. So here's the website, and please visit our website where we have all the programs listed here. And there I'm on the colORCHESTRA tab. So here you can see right at the top the deadlines to apply. For each orchestra, it's a different deadline because their concerts are on different dates. And here's a button to apply, which will take you to the application form. So here you can see when you scroll down, each of the orchestras which joined the colORCHESTRA project for this season has its own presentation. And first we have Western New York Chamber Orchestra, which will be performing the colORCHESTRA program at Harry King Hall at the SUNY at Fredonia. And today you see parts of the concert which took place previous season. You can see how beautiful that hall is and a wonderful orchestra. And we're so proud to collaborate with that orchestra and their conductor, Glenn Cortese. So you will see all the dates are listed here, the rehearsal dates, the concert dates, and everything. And of course, there is more information. So you need to click on the Learn More button to see more information. So all the more additional details are here. Repertory samples. When you click on that button, it'll take you to a list of concertos which were compiled together with the orchestra and its music director, Glenn Cortese. But when I click on this, you will see that at the top there, it says this is a sample list, repertory sample. This orchestra in particular is very open to everyone proposing concertos which are not listed there. And I should also mention that it's not only concertos. This orchestra is welcoming singers as soloists, so you can apply to perform an aria or movement of a cantata or any vocal work which is scripted for this kind of orchestra. And it's a chamber orchestra, but it's an expanded chamber orchestra. So you would need to send us a message, and let's see if we can pull up the email address where to send us a message if you want to propose a different concerto or an aria which are not listed on that list. And here you can learn more about the conductor, and here is application and audition process in detail. I would like to urge you to be patient and spend a few minutes learning how this audition process works. In a nutshell, you apply with any video, and we had quite a few questions about that. It is any video of your performance. It can be recorded a few months ago or even a couple of years ago. We're really only looking for a video which you believe represents you as an artist best. It doesn't have to be the concerto. It can be any piece. We are just pre-screening those videos to see if your level is equitable to be potentially selected to be a soloist with this orchestra. And then once the pre-screening process is done, the selected musicians will receive an invitation to join a live finals. The finals are held on a broadcast similar to what you're seeing right now, which is produced by Virtual Concert Halls and our team. You will need to prepare a concerto, either a movement if you're applying to play just a movement, or one aria, or you can apply to with a complete concerto as well. Now, on the live broadcast of the finals of this audition, you will not be stopped. And you will be on all of the platforms. It's a public broadcast, so you can invite your friends and family and supporters to watch. Once you finish your presentation, you finish your performance, the judges and the conductor of the orchestra will join the broadcast and will provide a live feedback to you with suggestions, recommendations, and everything. And you will be able to also converse with them, ask any questions. So you don't have to wait somewhere in the backstage or something for days and weeks to receive written comments. You're able to hear them right away and respond and ask for clarification or suggestions, anything. The stage will be yours. We provide you with that opportunity to connect. And just as the president of the SUNY Fredonia pointed out, networking is so important. It's part of our human life to connect with other people, but also part of professional life. So on those broadcasts, please make connections, make friends with the judges, with the conductor, with the orchestra. Present yourself as a person so it's attractive and interesting for other people to work with you. And then there is a section with the fees and explanation. I just want to mention one more thing. When you are invited to the live broadcast for the final auditions, you will be able to perform from your own location, wherever you are. And some people perform from their living room, some people perform from school studios, some people even perform from the concert halls. It's not going to affect the judging and the choosing of you. You can perform also with accompaniment, which we strongly encourage. But if that's financially or logistically difficult, you can present your own solo part, perform without accompaniment, or you can even use a pre-recorded soundtrack as an accompaniment. So it's completely up to you how you handle it, how you handle your presentation, and there will be absolutely no bias against one format or another. And also, before you perform on the virtual stage, we all understand virtual stage is challenging and it's new, and not everyone is very familiar with it. So our crew of producers, sound engineers, and broadcast designers will meet with you in a private session. Those will be scheduled a week before the auditions to help you set up your equipment, prepare everything, make sure the sound, picture, and everything works the best to your advantage. And now back to the main presentation of colORCHESTRA. Here is Bohuslav Martinu Philharmonic Orchestra in Zlin. And again, the dates of the concert. The concert will be on May 7th. And if you click on the Learn More button again, you will be able to see more details about when the rehearsals are, how they're handled, what kind of orchestra, meet the orchestra. You can learn more about this wonderful Philharmonic Orchestra, meet the conductor, Georg Sargsyan. We're really, really honored to be joined by this wonderful musician and world-renowned conductor. Well, every conductor of these orchestras obviously is a world-renowned conductor. And then here is Cairo Opera Orchestra, and again you can learn more about the dates when the concert will be held and what will be happening there, how to plan your travel if you win this audition, and so forth. And here is the Boulder Symphony Orchestra, and so forth. And we actually will be adding more orchestras as those details get finalized. So please keep visiting our website for more announcements. And again, I would like to call for your patience when learning this information. There's a lot of dates and other details, and you want to be, of course, aware of all of those and check with your calendar if you're participating in other events. Here's the website. Go to info at this is the email. Please email us any questions, or you can put them in the comments here or in the chat boxes of any of the platforms. And we have a whole team of people working here and helping to answer and address all of the questions. Okay, and now I would like to take us back to Harry King Hall in Fredonia, at the SUNY Fredonia. Beautiful concert of which was produced in collaboration of colORCHESTRA with many organizations, and we'll see more of that concert.
Okay.
Well, it was a pleasure to interview the president of the university. This concert is coming to us from SUNY Fredonia, and that was the president, Stephen Collison, with Rob Deemer, who's on the music faculty and a very innovative
And it
person
was
he
you,
is.
Steve. You were interviewing
Oh, me, yes.
them.
I was in
And,
charge, yes.
That was a few days before this very concert that you was mentioned. It was like, a few days later. This is the concert. You guys are hearing it right now. How
I see
was
that
it
the
doing that
orchestra.
interview?
Pardon me?
How was it doing that interview? How do you?
Oh, it was wonderful. And I see the orchestra's already on stage, so that's kind of a clue that maybe we're a little bit close to the beginning of the second half of this concert. And you tuned into to hearing the winners of the colORCHESTRA competition, which Virtual Concert Halls has produced. And we're going to be hearing two pieces in the second half of the concert. We will start with the second movement of the Concerto in E minor, Opus 11 of Chopin, and Ben Battaglia. If you listen to the interview that we did with him at the beginning of this broadcast, he chose this movement for very particular reasons. It's interesting that he chose the second movement rather than a bravura first or third movement, but he had his reasons for that. And then following that performance, we'll hear the complete Concerto in A minor, Opus 33 of Camille Saint-Saëns with Nahar Elias, the cello. We'll hear that complete performance. And these are very exceptional artists. Ben offers a distinguished musicianship with a versatile background in jazz, improvisation, classical, and sacred music. That's quite a span if you think about it, jazz and sacred music and classical. He's an actor, performer, a composer, a recording artist, and teacher. And I imagine he entered in the professional category, Fedor?
Yes. And the other thing I will mention, you were saying what reason.
Well, here they're coming on stage, not
Yes.
much more to mention. And that's Glenn Cortese, and it's the orchestra will be conducted by Maestro Cortese, and the performance of the Chopin featuring Ben Battaglia. And here they are.
And so that was part one of the wonderful concert, which was presented in the collaboration between colORCHESTRA and many companies which are part of the colORCHESTRA, together with the Western New York Chamber Orchestra and the SUNY Fredonia University in Fredonia. And we're very grateful for this collaboration, which is continuing into this season. And it was a great experience for everyone involved. So everybody was on board and said, okay, we're going to do this again. Now, how to get involved, how to become part of this movement of bringing artists from different parts of the world together on stage to perform this great, wonderful music, connect with the community in the concert hall, in the city where this orchestra is performing, and all over the world. Through our reach of the virtual concert halls, we produce all those concerts and events, and we present them on multiple platforms, on multiple video platforms and social media platforms. We invite everyone to engage with us, to be part of this movement. So how to get involved? Of course, sign up to our channels. Go to our websites, and not only ours, but the websites of our collaborators. Here's the website, here's the email. Send us an email, info@colorchestra.com. Leave us a comment on the website or in the chat box of YouTube or Vimeo or Twitch, everywhere. Leave a comment if you're on the social media, on Facebook, on LinkedIn. Leave a comment. We will respond. We are seeking this connection because we are musicians and we are all about communicating and being part of the community, being part of the society, and being friends with everyone. So we will come back to all of these events again. We are live at 12 noon Eastern Standard every day. So if you have time, if it's a lunchtime for you, or if it's a morning time or evening time, depending on your time zone, please tune in. If you ask your questions during the program while it's live, we'll bring your comment on the screen. We call it virtual stage, on the virtual stage, and me or another host, whoever is presenting, will answer those questions. And now I want to extend many, many, many thanks to our fabulous team of virtual concert halls. We have enormous support and a wonderful group of people who have been working together for over 3.5 years, developing these programs, developing different formats of bringing together the presentation of concerts in the physical concert halls at the same time on the virtual stages. So you see there are wonderful names on the screen right now, and I want to point out that these are also fabulous musicians, and that's what makes virtual concert halls so unique, because it's produced by musicians. They are performers, composers, conductors, and educators. They know exactly what music and musicians need to be presented in the most accessible, friendly way and smoothly. So you could hear how the sound was great, the picture was great, and the whole experience is very, very welcoming. So thank you, team. Thank you, everyone who joined us today, and we hope you come back. Please sign up on our channels, on our websites, and become part of this movement and this community. I think you will like it. And with this, for now, I'm going to say goodbye, and I'll see you in a little bit.
No matter where you are or who you are, music connects us all. We started with a dream, but now we are paving the future. Welcome to the Sound Espressivo Global Competition. Fully virtual, yet bringing musicians closer together than ever before, now on a global scale. True live, inclusivity, diversity, connection, community, an extraordinary array of judges. Get noticed by companies all over the world. Prizes, scholarships, performance opportunities. Apply to be a part of the most exciting congregation of artists like nothing you've ever seen before. We guarantee quality and leave no musician behind. We can't wait to hear you on the virtual stage.